For a long time, I thought that anybody who supports the Democrat Party propaganda is completely off their rocker. But then I tried to look at issues from their perspective since I try to understand all sides. I'm now starting to see that the Democrat Party is making some sense for the first time ever when they talk about reparations. Yes, I think reparations should be paid, and I think the Democrat Party should lead the way in doing that. Remember, this is the party that condoned and endorsed slavery. This is the party of segregation and poverty. Just look at the liberal-run cities, all run by Democrats. They put people out of work, let crime run rampant, and drive people out of living in those cities with their tax policies. They are the party of censorship, double standards, hypocrisy, racism, DEI, and all of that trans nonsense. This is the party of mask and vaccine mandates during the COVID pandemic. It's been one thing after another for over 2 centuries. So yeah, Democrats, I now understand your eagerness to make reparations. So pay them to anybody you want, but make sure to pay back anyone who has been harmed by your policies going back 30 years, including myself. Now, on to something that might make a few people upset. I know that leftists, liberals, regressives, and socialists get very angry and shut people down who call them out for being woke. And they always say, "You don't even know what woke means," in conversation when they can't even define the word themselves. So here's what it means. Historically speaking, woke is a term that was coined to mean being enlightened or attentive to racial inequality or social justice issues and equity. After a period of not being used as much, the word has been revived to have a negative connotation. Nowadays, it means canceling the ideals that Western civilization was founded upon, creating issues to worry about, like climate change, and putting out divisive rhetoric like reparations in order to take your attention away from the matters that are actually important, like unindoctrinating people who are still stuck in the status mindset and who worship the government, which unfortunately is still the majority of the population. Wokies also try to tear down the Constitution by removing one human right at a time by way of incrementalism. You see this a lot, especially in the Democrat Party, forcing everybody to be tolerant and accepting of all views, except when it comes to religion and conservative views. In other words, staying true to the conservative values and principles that this country was founded upon is not allowed, all in order to push a liberal agenda that leads to socialism. Saying that our country is systemically racist because of white people, standing for a racist ideology that divides people according to skin color, hiring practices based on DEI instead of having anything to do with merit or credentials, pushing LGBTQ issues down everybody's throat, and playing the victim card whenever the radical left doesn't get its way. In other words, all of the ridiculous nonsense that the left and Democrat Party stands for these days, that all feeds into the modern definition of woke. Thankfully, this nonsense seems to be dying down a little. We need to bring back conservative values here in America. Now, this doesn't mean to be conservative on the political spectrum. Lord knows voting for either party is the worst thing that one could ever do to try to fight for freedom. We've been voting for other people, politicians who are the worst people on earth, to be our slave masters for going on 300 years, and look at where it's gotten us. This crazy, messed up world that we are living in today. We won't truly make a difference or a better world unless we start building a parallel society together. Anarchy, volunteerism, that's what people are finally starting to wake up to. Non-government solutions. In any case, I'll leave it there. Remember always, action is what gets things done, not awareness.